We will thrive.
Hello, everybody from beautiful Portland, Oregon. Bonjour, aloha, ciao, hello from Portland, Oregon. You know, we all smile and laugh in the same language. We may speak different languages, but we all smile and laugh in the same language. It unites us, it brings us together, it creates a common bond when nothing else will bring us together. And 2 months ago, COVID-19 has done its best to divide the world, to push us apart, to make us unhappy and suffer. And I think that one of the things we need to be able to do to be able to thrive and not just survive with COVID-19 is that we use humor as a skill in our personal and in our professional lives. And it's not that hard. As the great singer Britney Spears says, it's not rocket surgery. It's not that complicated. But what we have to do is make a conscious choice to learn to see things differently. You know, we can't change the things that happen to us or around us. We have to change our perception of those things. And COVID-19 is real. It's out there. It's taking lives. It's not, there's nothing funny about that. But what happens is if we take a step back and look at things a little differently, we realize that with changing our perception, we can act and not react to the situational stress that's out there. And let me tell you what I mean. Starts with a very simple thing. When something stressful happens, some little thing, I want you to put your hand right here and say bummer and do this. Everybody do that. Just go bummer and do that. Little things stack up one on top of another until we get such a big stack we can't deal with it anymore. We want to be able to let the little things go. So what we do is we put my hand right here and we go bummer and let it go. Let it go. When something good happens, little things like getting an incentive check or going back to work or a favorite restaurant opens back up again, then we celebrate that moment by doing this. Woohoo! Try that. Woohoo! One more time. Woohoo! We've got to celebrate every little victory and have fun with it. And if you don't celebrate them, I don't think we remember all the funny things or all the fun things that have happened out there. And I think that if we make a conscious choice to look at these stressors differently, then we can problem solve using humor. You know, these masks that everybody's wearing out there, there's nothing funny about the masks out there at all. But if we had something like this, I guarantee you that we'll get a smile when you walk down the street. And we may not be able to see it, but there's so many things that we can do intentionally to use humor to have fun. These are called don't bug me glasses. I found that I've been home so much. I've been home more in the last couple of months than I've been home, I think, in years. I travel all the time usually. I sometimes just need a few minutes to myself. I can put these on, these don't bug me glasses, and Sophia, my wife, would leave me alone for a few minutes. It's all about taking a moment to have fun and laugh. And laugh, as C.W. Metcalf says, not with ridicule, but with objectivity and acceptance of self. And it's not accepting that this negativity is going to come back on us. You know, the first thing I want you to do is practice better self-talk. You know, when you tell yourself, I'm angry, I'm upset, I can't deal with this, your brain believes it up to a point. Now, if you're doing this, I'm tired. No, you're not. Yes, you are. Then seek professional care. That's not what I mean. But I'm saying a lot of people talk to themselves and talk negatively, and our brains do believe it up to a point. I was, before COVID-19, I was in Denver, Colorado, and an Uber driver was driving me to the airport at rush hour at 5 p.m. And he's angry and he's just hitting his hands on the dash. And I said, what's the matter? And he goes, traffic. And I said, how long have you been a driver? And he said, I've been driving for 30 years. He said, I drove a taxi before I drove Uber. And I said, how long in Denver? And he said, my whole time. And I said, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but it's going to be like that again tomorrow. It's going to continue to be like that. And so I told him that if you get angry about the stress, if you get angry about all the situational stress, you can't do this job. If you can't deal with traffic, you probably shouldn't be an Uber driver, right? So when you encounter stress, even if you just take a step back and then react to it, and then be able to see it just a little bit differently if we turn just a little bit. So the first one you want to do is have fun. Say it, have fun. We concentrate on finding ways of having fun. If you build fun into your day, it's going to happen. So many times we're at home now all the time. You can't just be working all the time. You've got to build fun into it. And you can do things like with the family. You can find out what everybody finds funny. Have the kids decide what shows you're going to watch that are funny so that you can learn how people's humor has either grown or it's changed during COVID-19. Find the things that you find funny and watch them, and it will refresh and renew you. Another thing is, stop watching the news all the time. We watch all this negativity. We want to be able to find the positive things and share those and not share the negative things. And the third thing would be problem solving using humor. When I travel, I used to fly millions of miles, and hopefully I'll get back to that pretty soon again. I was having problems with my suitcase. When I put my bag in the overhead, sometimes when I put it in, you have to put it in wheels first. I would put it in wheels first. It wouldn't fit, so I'd have to put it sideways. And people would come behind me then, move my bag around like this, and then the bin wouldn't close, and I'd have to check my bag. And so what I did was I got chicken feet. I got chicken feet sticking out of my bag. And I found that with the chicken feet sticking out of the bag, people would go to move my bag, and it'd be right about here, and they would just put it back. Problem solved. That's all I needed to be able to do. Whoop, I'm getting some weird feedback here. This is even fun when we have to be able to go through security with it. I'll go through security, they'll take it out, and I've laughed so hard, they'll start searching, they'll go be through it, they'll be frisking it. I love it when they get right about here. They're just so intense on it at TSA, and then they flip it, and they just keep searching it right back down to there. There you go. So problem solving using humor, I think, is incredibly important. When you find the stress, find a way to deal with it. The next thing is, when you encounter situational stress, have a plan about how you're going to deal with it. This is my policy manual. I found if I have my own policy manual, it's easier for me to be able to face stressful things. I know when I checked into a hotel, it was so funny. I checked into a hotel. They told me all they had left are smoking rooms. And I told them, I said, I reserved a non-smoking room. And they said, no, all we have left are smoking rooms. And I said, can you upgrade me to a non-smoking suite since you put me into a smoking room? And they said, no, we don't upgrade based on smoking preference. And I said, so what do I do? And so they checked. They said $150 more per night. Now, I'm not going to pay that. So I said, can you upgrade me for free? And they said, no, our policy is we don't upgrade based on smoking preference. So I've pulled out my policy manual. This is my policy manual. On the front, it says my official policy manual. On the back, it says, this is my picture here. I grant you the power to serve me. This is very official looking. And I'll pull this out and I'll ask them, I'll say, so my policy says, if I request and reserve a non-smoking room at any hotel, and that property then gives my room away to another guest prior to my arrival, then said hotel is required by law to upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost to me, no exception. And I handed it to the clerk, and she looks at it and she goes, it's right there. He's not kidding. She said, I don't know what to do. She said, you not need to talk to the manager. So I turned to my section on talking with manager, 16.2, and I read to her, once I've vocalized my policy, I will not repeat my policy under any conditions. And she looked at it, she photocopied it, and they put me in the presidential suite that night. There's so many fun things that you can do with your own policy manual. If they tell you no, you can turn right to yes and show that to them too. So many fun things that you can do. Laugh at the things you can, be serious about the things you have to. And when we can reconnect with people, I think humor helps us connect better than ever before. The better and the more that we're able to use humor, I think the faster we can reconnect with humor. These are itty bitty chickens. These little itty bitty chickens I carry with me wherever I travel. I've always got a couple couple of them in my pocket. When I traveled to Phoenix, Arizona, USA with my wife here last year, we go to check in and I booked an extra night at the hotel, a spa night for Sophia. I didn't know it, but when I booked the extra night, they had actually booked it at a different rate. So instead of the $150 a night it was supposed to be, it was $250. And they didn't just book the one night extra, they booked the 3 nights at that higher rate, $250. And I said, well, there's got to be something we can do to get the rate down. Lady told me, no, there's nothing we can do. And I reached in my pocket to pull one of these little itty bitty chickens out to hand to her. And she thought I was going to bribe her. And she looks at me and she goes, sir, you can't bribe me. And I said, now you might want to see what I have. She goes, she's very indignant. Sir, you can't bribe me. And I just kind of took the little chickens and just kind of slid them across the table and turned my hand over. And she looked at those little itty bitty chickens and she wanted them really badly. She wanted them. And she goes, sir, and I said, well, let me sweeten the pot just a little bit more. And I just took one more itty bitty chicken and put it there, just like that. I ended up getting a room for $80 a night. It was unbelievable, all because of little itty bitty chickens. There's so many fun things that you can do marketing wise to connect with people. It's not that hard. It's incredibly important that we stay focused in on finding the humor. I just sent these out to some of my customers, asking them to save me a seat at their next Zoom meeting. It's a seat saver. It's melted ice cream on a spoon. There are ways for them to remind me. It's a way for them to remind of my ability to work with Zoom meetings and to help people out in Zoom meetings and things like that. So I'll leave you here. One of the fun things that I think we do more than any other is find funny things that are just meant for fun. One of them is the nose flute. You play it by blowing through your nose. You can get them at any music store. They're just so fun to play. Find something that's just done for fun and do it for yourself. But here's what I want you to do. Rule number 1 is have fun. Rule number 2 is do it for yourself. And the third thing is share it. Begin your day with laughter. Give thanks and be thankful. And at the end of the day, what I want you to be able to do is step away from business a little bit too. You can do your dismount. And all you do is find a chair at the end of the day and do this. 5 o'clock, done for the day. Do your dismount and you're done for the day. Laughter becomes you if you let it. It is not difficult to use. You just want to learn to see the world a little bit differently. Having a comic vision can help you do that. When you run into stressful things, bummer, let it go. Woohoo! Celebrate those other things and have more fun. I'm Tim Gard from Portland, Oregon, USA. I believe that humor can help us thrive and not just survive during COVID-19. Treasure this time that you have with your families now, because COVID-19 is going to be over all too soon. And I know that sounds funny now, but we're going to miss this time that we had one-on-one with people that we don't get to see very much. We can, in fact, thrive and not just survive if we use humor. Laughter becomes you if you let it. I'm Tim Gard. Thanks for listening.